Recording.
Okay, we are about 16 and a half miles in, having a blast. A flowy single track.
Oh,
I tell you, there's more roots in this section than I've seen in the whole thing.
I know.
Feels like home.
Did it say this was seasonal, these trails?
Ah, well, surely. I can't imagine riding it in 4 feet of snow. I bet I haven't read that, no, but gosh, surely it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But I would think after the first couple frosts, it would be awesome.
Yeah. That'd be fun in a couple inches of snow. With some Kyle Miller cheater tires.
Yeah. I think the last time he bought those things you put in yourself, those big auger type,
Yeah.
um, uh, whatever they're called.
Man, I just used hex head sheet metal screws. There wasn't any place to saddleback that I didn't go in 6 inches of snow. It was amazing.
Oh, it is amazing, isn't it?
Yep.
You got one of those little magnetic tips on your drill.
Yep.
Just sit there with a box of them and
Yep.
spin that back wheel around. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Took about 40 minutes.
Yeah. It takes a long time. It takes longer to do it with those augers.
Oh, I'm sure. Juncture. Left. That's where that other trail comes back in. I think they're going to meet up and then they're going to split again right up here.
Huh.
They must have met up to go over this bridge.
Two bridges.
Dose bridges. Yep. Yep. Left is perimeter.
Who's your state representative? Ken Fleming?
That sounds familiar. Would you like to have a word with her?
Oh, it's a guy. Ken.
Oh,
Ken.
oh my
Ken.
fault.
Ken. Yeah.
You hope you're not offended.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not offended. He's a good guy for a Republican. he's a his father used to own one of the first aerial survey firms in the state.
Oh yeah.
His father-in-law. That's what it was. His father-in-law. Yeah. And I was thinking that you're pretty close to his area because he's got part of Oldham and part of Jefferson.
All right. Well, yeah, that probably would be me. I'm right on the line.
Yeah, yeah.
Kris has a Crestwood address, but he's closer to Centerfield.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in between Crestwood and Ballardsville.
Ballardsville. Okay.
If you blink, you miss it. Shit, you cover it. Coming from a guy that lives in a town called Pee Wee Valley.
Pee Wee. That little bitty valley.
Named after a bird.
Really?
Uh-huh.
There is a bird called a Pee Wee.
Yep. Yeah, the little sign has a little bird on it.
They're a flycatcher. You watch them. They'll sit on a fence and they'll see something flying in the air, and they'll just jump right off the fence and go and take it right out of the air.
I like them.
I think there's a couple kinds east of the Mississippi. I had no idea that's what it was named after, though. That's cool.
Learn something new every day, don't you? I like this in here.
Huh?
I like this in here, this section.
Oh, yeah. It's all been a good experience.
Yes.
And I'm just as anxious to see what the next place looks
Yeah.
like, you know?
Yeah. I don't see Kris yet.
I'm gonna get a drink.
Man, this thing's really going to do a lot of zigzagging coming up. Bunch. Yes, absolutely. It's going to go up and back and up and back. We're talking about how they've taken a piece of land. It's pretty big, but they're really using it to full extent. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't so much about the clear-cut burn area, but
Yeah, take the good with the bad. All good?
every once in a while I just have to slow down, set my hand up.
Yeah, no, dude, don't wear yourself out. We got a lot of riding left.
Yep.
Not just today, but all week.
These last 2 loops, I've started to kind of feel like I'm more in my flow.
Loosening up.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. This is the first time I've ridden.
Since Renfro, I think. Oh, well, not counting the Indiana. The
Right. Yeah. Well, I wasn't on this.
Yeah.
I haven't ridden this in about 4 months.
It's got to be Renfro's last time.
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
Bug flew right in my mouth. Yuck.
Yeah, something's trying to choke you today.
Yeah, really. Oh, but back to that Alone, man.
Huh?
That show Alone.
Yeah.
They are fishing. They're allowed to bring 25 hooks, and I can't remember how many feet of fishing line. And these two guys, all 3 of them, they're catching the 36 to 44 inch pike on hooks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They're monsters.
Well, yeah. How? I mean, but they don't have a reel. They just have a line.
They take a stick and they just twirl it up as they're reeling it in around the stick.
Yep.
They'll set it in the water. Well, before when they first started, there was no snow. It was probably in the 50s. But winter comes on in a freaking less than a week. But anyway, they would put a stick on the bank and tie the lead to it, and they sit there. They would do several of them, and that's the way they catch them.
Wow.
And one of the guys, a pine marten, got in and ate all of his stored food, every bit of it. So he's like, I'm screwed. I'm done. So he said, I'm going to go fish a little bit. And then a couple hours later, he pulled out a 40-inch pike. He said, this will last me a week.
Wow.
And he, now that the water's frozen over, he cut out big blocks of ice, set them on top of the ice, and made a cooler. Poured water over the joints and made him a cooler out of it. And then he set up a trail cam, and that pine marten tried to get into that but couldn't get into it.
Ah.
Yeah, it's the same one. He's named it Sassy.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to kill those. They can't kill those. I guess they're protected. But
Gotcha.
that little thing is, man, it just it growls and makes all kinds of racket. I've never seen one before. They're ferocious little suckers.
Like a little weasel.
Yeah. And one of these guys took a stick, it's probably 20 feet long, put a snare on the end of it, and he can sneak up on a freaking grouse and snare it. He's done 3 of them like that.
Wow.
He puts the stick right up by the grouse's head, and I guess they're just so dumb, they just sit there and get snared.
Jeez. Interesting. Huh.
And one of them was laying there one night and heard wolves close. And they generally camp right by a river or a lake. And he walks out, shines his light across the river, and there they are looking at him. And it's no more than Rock Castle River. It's probably not even that wide. Those wolves looking at him.
Wow.
And the dude that shot the buffalo, once he dressed it, he set up a trail cam, and basically all the thing that was left there was the ribs and the gut pile. Sure enough, they caught a grizzly dragging that rib cage off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they're not too proud to scavenge.
No.
They'll take it.
It is a really interesting show.
So what's up with the trail cam? I mean,
so
let them have those?
Yeah, no, they give them they want them to film everything they can film. So they go in with their backpack and their 10 items, and the producers, they drop in this big, like, huge Pelican case before they go into the area that they're going to put them in, and that's got all their camera equipment in it. So they've got GoPros, they've got one real high end, I guess a big high def camera, trail cams. That's how they make the TV show. Is whatever those guys film, and that's part of their job on being on that show. Is they need to film everything they can.
Wow.
The guy that shot the buffalo, he took one of the antlers and made it into a banjo, and he wrote a little song and sang the song. It was actually really good. That's the guy from Indiana.
Moose.
I'm saying buffalo. Moose, okay. Yeah, moose.
That's funny.
Yep. Yeah, he shot that arrow and went through both lungs.
Oh, he did well.
Exactly. He said, "This is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm shocked that I actually did it." He said as soon as he shot it, he could hear the gurgling. And it ran, I don't know, maybe 25 feet into the woods and fell over.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want.
That's what the deer hunters want, too. They want a good, clean shot like that takes them down quick.
Yep. With a bow and arrow.
That's
I think
impressive.
They're allowed 9 arrows, and they can use the blunts or they can use the what do you call them, with razor blades on them?
Yeah.
I can't think what they're called. And they're not compound bows; they're like recurve. They're permanent bows.
Yeah. Man, have you ever shot a bow?
I have.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's not easy at all.
Hard.
Actually, Bailey used to do it. When she was young, one of her and her friends, they wanted compound bows, so we got them little Genesis compound bows. And she did it for a while. But then, of course, she grew out of it, but I still got it.
Yeah.
There was two girls that got dropped in. They're better at foraging. They find the berries and stuff, but I don't want to get you by so long. Both of them. Well, one of them kind of went out because she, the loneliness and the missing your family.
Yeah.
And then the other one, she had kidney issues.
Oh.
Most people go out for medical reasons. One dude, in 2 weeks, never had a BM. So he knotted up. I yanked him out. Well, he tapped out. He knew he had to get out of there. One of the guys that's still in it, Dub, the guy from Michigan, he was the one that was catching most of the big pike, and he had a place under his bed that was cold enough to keep him fresh, and he started getting sick, stomach issues, 5 days, throwing up and diarrhea. Thought he was done, but just kept sticking it out, and he ended up getting better. And then he went to get one of those pike out from under his bed, and he opened it up, and it was full of mouse feces. And so that's what made him sick. He'd been eating fish with mouse feces on it. Yeah. And about 3/4 of it was left. He had to throw it out.
Yeah.
And okay, like I said, that's a week's worth of food right there. But yeah, he thought he was done, but I don't know how he toughed it out, man. That's got to be miserable.
No doubt.
They're to the point right now where they only have 8 hours of daylight a day. They lose 8 minutes of daylight a day.
Wow. It's like, it's more like 50 something to 70 something seconds down here. So I guess because you're that much further
Mhm.
north, it's compounded.
Yeah. But yeah, they're getting really thin. The longest, the record is 100 days. The guy lasted,
Mm.
and you don't know. They don't know however many people's in it. They don't know how many's left. Can you imagine just not knowing how much longer you're going to be?
So when the next to last person leaves, do they tell the last person, or they let them keep staying out there?
No, no, they tell them. I don't know if they wait till the next day or they tell them that day. I'm not sure about that.
Hey,
But
lean up against the tree for a second.
uh,
I got a little gassy corner for me.
sometimes they'll fly the wife in and let the wife walk in and tell them, and of course they just break down. I was telling you about the Alone series I was telling you about last night. The Alone series. The
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so the guy that was talking, was that like a backstory on the
So
show?
that guy is one of the three that's still in it.
Oh,
So what they each have their own little YouTube channel, and they like after the episode airs, they can get on their YouTube channel and talk about that episode. Of course, they can't talk about what's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened like right they're doing right now. They filmed last fall and last winter,
oh, that's neat.
so they have to keep quiet
I didn't
until
know, cause that guy. When I saw him, I mean, he just kind of looked like a.
he's the one from Indiana.
Is he
Yeah.
really? That
No, I'm sorry. The one that I was watching last night, that's the winner from last season.
is it
That's the
really?
guy that won last season. Yeah, yeah.
You know, he. I mean, I typical stereotyping, but he did not look like a survival
Mm-mm.
guy. He
Mm-mm.
looked like a video guy playing,
Mm-hmm.
on the weekends on his couch.
But
I
the
mean,
the
he's
the
not like a dummy,
the
but
three guys that are still in it right now, they'll shoot their little episode this weekend, and they'll probably have it up on YouTube Monday.
okay,
Then they'll talk about Thursday night's episode.
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I really liked how he was talking about, just down to the pounds of meat that he
Hmm.
fed
They have it all planned
and
out.
how they, you know,
They know how long that 40-pound pike is going to last them.
wow.
They got a ration.
What do they try to take in? I guess it's calories per day. They try to stay around, or
They try to get a mix of everything, but it's tough.
I got
Protein and calories, but again, they got to ration it too
right,
because they don't know if the fishing's going to die or.
right. I heard him reference what was the thing that kept stealing his food, the squirrely or
Sassy,
sassy.
the pond martin.
Uh,
Um, Justin made the comment once that it didn't that he could live on 1,800 calories a day.
that seems like a lot.
I don't know.
I mean, 2,000 calories is yeah.
He said, but he said, I don't care what it is. He said, as long as I can get get about that amount in me. He said, even if it's the same thing day in, day out. He said, that's what I have to have to go.
It also depends on what you're doing and how you're exerting yourself.
Yeah.
Well, he's a
Well,
smaller build guy too, so 18.
I'm figuring he figured that out in the military.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I would guess so.
Yeah.
Um,
So
that's interesting.
it was.
Those contestants, the first 2 weeks they're dropped in, they're building a shelter, and then they're working hard.
Yeah.
They're losing it faster than they can take it in.
Yeah, that's the tough part when you have to build your
But
own
once that's done,
stuff.
then you can relax more and
Hopefully
pace
you have
yourself.
food too, and you can go on cruise mode. What do they?
I'm always on cruise mode.
Do they? Do they look for food and shelter in the beginning, or is it like a bit?
The first couple days they might not eat. Well, they may forage berries and stuff, but I don't think really do any hunting or fishing until they get there. A lot of them will do like a little temporary shelter to live in while they're building their main shelter for the long haul. They do get to take a tarp with them, so they can use a tarp. It's pretty cool.
Right.
It's pretty darn cold when they get out there.
Right now it's about 13. When they dropped them in, it was in the 50s. Yeah.
Woo. It's too cold for too long. Too cold for too long.
They do have pretty good clothes. You know,
I'm sure
they're
they
allowed.
got the best of the best.
Yeah, they're allowed. You know, like so many coats and two pair of boots. One guy, and